Hello everyone. In this video I want to show how to fix I guess we'll call it a corrupted Unity Git project. So essentially a Git project that is, or a Unity project that's put onto a Git repository that has, when you go open up your file browser, anytime you just open up your project, has these 3,000 changes, or in this one like 1,000 changes. I just opened the project, and why is there over 1,000 things changed in a Unity project? Why? That doesn't make any sense. And essentially is that you just didn't properly set up the Unity project to work with. Well, actually, you didn't set up the Git repo to correctly know how to handle a Unity project. So I'll put a link in the description in this YouTube video linking to how to I made another video on how to properly hook up Unity in a Git repo. But I've had a lot of students that either don't know that video exists or make a mistake anyways, and they're like, oh my god, how do I fix all this stuff? So this video is showing you how to fix this project. So here I have this Unity project. There's nothing in here. This is just the default sample scene, default packages. So there's nothing in this. I haven't touched it. I just literally cloned the repo, opened it up in Unity, and I have these 1,000 changes. Now it's important to know, kind of like the architecture of Unity, is Unity creates for you some projects or some folders every time that it opens. So let me go to where Unity is. So here I have my Git root folder. So I have my .git, I have a license. So this is actually up on my GitHub. So it's a public repo, so you can actually see. So I made this commit, the starting commit, and so you can see all these files. And so actually this is better than the File Explorer. So here are the 5 folders that a Unity folder or Unity project will make. So this is right here. This is the root of the directory. I just want to make sure you're clear with verbiage here. This is the root of the Git project, Git repo. And then this bad Git is the root of the Unity project. And so here are the folders that Unity creates: assets, library, logs, packages, project settings. You might have a couple other ones. It depends on the version of Unity and kind of what I think environment you're in. But what's important here is we only care about tracking 3 of these folders. We only care about assets, packages, and project settings. These are the things where you actually have to change. Library and logs, these are temporary files that Unity creates for this specific installation in that specific location on each computer. So these files here are actually because I have 2 cloned versions of this project on this exact computer. So I am literally in conflict with myself on the same computer. But it's because that library and this temp and the logs are different are going to be different on any different locations, because Unity is creating temporary files for it to run faster. So it's all like the cache files. And so we don't want to track those changes. So like I said in the other video, we only want to see assets, packages, and project settings. If you see library and logs on your repo, up on wherever your repo is, you don't have the proper git ignore. And so I didn't add one here into this project just because I wanted to show you how to add one from scratch. So when you make a new repo, click, especially on GitHub, click the ignore and just look for a Unity git ignore. or just Google git ignore. So here's someone else's. I'll just download this. It'll work. Oh, nope. There we go. You were nice enough. So let me open up where my folder is. And so now, if you were to get a git ignore from and add it to when you created your repository, it's going to exist at the root directory of the Git. It's not going to. Git doesn't by default know how to work with a Unity project. It has this git ignore, but the default creation process for both Git and Unity don't necessarily work with each other because they both want to be the ones that create a new folder for you. And so here I added this git ignore. If I go back to my, close this so I don't get confused. If I open up my corrupted project, I see that I added a git ignore, but I still see those 1,000-some changes. That's because the git ignore, and this is what we care about, these first couple things here, these are relative paths. So relative to that file location, there is no temp folder, there is no object, build, builds, or library, right? Those are in the Unity root project, or root folder. So if I move my git ignore into the Unity, now there's a temp, now there's a logs, and now there's a library. Oh, this is out of date. I gotta add that. I highly recommend you grab the one from GitHub when you create your project. And so now, notice the temps went away. Actually, I'm getting way ahead of myself. So now I no longer have those temp files, but I still have these changes to these couple of library folders. So what we actually want to do is we need to fix and get rid of those extra folders first. So I'm going to move back my git ignore to my git root folder. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I need Git to track that I am making changes to the to these files, and then ignore them. So if you fix your git ignore but don't delete and have Git track the deletion of those files, it's going to keep tracking changes made to those files. Git ignore just says ignore this file if you see it, or if you're not already tracking it. But because if I go back to GitHub and go back to my GitHub, I already have library and logs up here. Git is going to keep tracking changes to any of those files. It's not going to ignore them because there's a git ignore. The git ignore just says do not start tracking these changes. So we need to delete these two folders from our repo and then fix the git ignore. So make sure you close Unity, because Unity will get really mad if you delete those two files or any of the other files on it. So my git ignore is here. So I'm going to go in and delete library. Oh, come on. Delete library and delete logs. Now, if I had opened up any code, I'd see some project files and stuff here. Delete those as well. You should really only see these three folders up on Git. once you've made like your own builds, but that's specific for your project. This is more general. So I deleted those 3 files. Now if I go back to my changes, notice there that little pencil mark in Git Kraken is changed to the red, which means that I've deleted these files. So I'm going to say, hey, yep, track stage those changes. So I want to track deleting almost 4,000 files. And I also want to stage that. Okay, so now I'm telling Git that these files were deleted. If I can spell correctly. So I need to commit, and then I'll push this as well, just so we can see it up on GitHub. So now if I refresh, there, boom. Now I only have these 3 files. Now we're not done yet, remember. We still need to add the git ignore. So now Git is no longer tracking those files. So now we can go in, take this git ignore, put it in the right place. Added git ignore. I'm just going to commit this. And so now if I go back to Unity, and so now the first time you do this, you're going to get that loading screen because Unity needs those folders. So I'll see this loading screen. Here is important, all the packages for the project. And then this loading screen, this importing will go away once you've set it up, and it won't change because in this specific location you're at, you have all of your things already imported. Unity has all its stuff. So when this is done, there's more packages to load. Wow. Okay. You done yet? There we go. Okay. We have a, actually even tells you because asset database cannot be found. So there I have a Unity project. I have no changes, right? I don't see any changes to the files because I just opened up Unity. I didn't make any changes. But if I go back into my Unity root folder, I have library, I have temp, I have these files there. But because now I've deleted and then told Git to ignore, it's not going to look for, and it's going to see this library folder and not care about it because it's ignoring it. Same with temp. Because now if I go in here and I make a change, let's change whatever color, change the color of my directional length. Yes, replace it. Now I have a change, but I only have the one change, right? I only have the change made to that Unity scene. So now my my Unity project is correctly set up on a Git repo that's going to ignore and not track all of the files that I don't want. So now when someone were to clone a repo and open it up, they won't see those 1,000-some changes to some weird file in library that they never actually did. So this is how you fix a Git repo to work with Unity if you made some mistakes in the process. All right, bye. Hope this helped.